Welcome to another episode on our channel. So we're going to be talking about Val Kilmer, who portrayed Doc Holliday in the movie Tombstone, which was, I have to say, one of my all-time favorite Westerns. It's one of those movies that you can watch again and again and again. I thought he did a great job in this movie. And it's just a shame, his life was cut short by throat cancer. So, yeah, he'll be sorely missed. Some things you might not have known about Val Kilmer is that he was one of the youngest individuals. He was the youngest who had ever been admitted to the Juilliard School Drama Division. And he actually didn't want to play in Top Gun, but he had contractual obligations to do it, and he fulfilled those obligations. He kind of tried to get under the skin of Maverick and Goose on the show so that the tensions would feel real. So he would do things to antagonize them. And I guess that came off well. What I found amazing was that not only, and I always thought this about him, he reminded me of Jim Morrison of the Doors. And it was no surprise when he eventually portrayed Jim Morrison. But what I didn't know is not only was he spot on as a lookalike for Jim Morrison, but he actually sung the parts in that movie. And his fellow bandmates said they couldn't really tell the difference between Val Kilmer and Jim Morrison. His voice was so identical to Jim Morrison. So it's the real deal, not only in terms of looks, but the singing in and of itself, which is just amazing. Of course, he's been in lots of different movies, and Batman being one of them. But for me, my favorite movie of all time in terms of what he portrayed in is not Top Gun, it's Tombstone. I really liked his role in Tombstone. Another thing you might not know about him is he's like 1/8 Cherokee. Who would have guessed? 1/8 Cherokee. So anyway, these two figures represent two different companies. The one in the red vest that's coming around now is a Redmon Toys, let's say scale figure of Val Kilmer in Tombstone. And the one that follows is actually Present Toys. And they look quite different. Some things I didn't change this one on any level. I mean, what you see is what comes with Present Toys. On the Redmon Toys figure, I did add a holster. I did add a handgun in addition to the other gun attached to his, the shoulder harness gun. So he really, both these companies probably use the same head sculpt, would be my guess, but it's quite different in terms of how they're dressed. I even put not just a different holster on him, but for the Redmon figure, but a different set of pants on and a jacket. So I don't really have all the original things on him for Redmon that I do with the Present Toys. So the Present Toys hasn't been touched. It's the Redmon figure that has been very much customized so that it would appeal to me. So we'll pause and we'll go from feet on all the way up of both figures. And maybe in your mind you'll say you like one versus the other. They do have some pros and cons, but overall, I like them both. That's why I kept both of them. So we'll be right back. Here are the two figures side by side. On the left is the present Toys figure. That is completely as it came. On the right is the Redmon Toys figure. That's much more heavily customized on my end. That one has the Doc Holliday nameplate, triangular piece on the stand, whereas the present Toys has the name on directly on the stand. So present Toys, if you look at the pants compared to the Redmon Toys, the pants are, it may not be very visible here, but they're gray and they're striped pants. They're very narrow fitting. The pants I threw on to the Redmon Toys figure is just a pair of black pants that I thought were a little more full in terms of width and so forth, and longer. And I kind of like that look better myself. You can see the holster. I actually made that holster. The handgun in the holster on his hip is probably a Steve-O Toys handgun. It's made out of metal. Now, throughout most of the movie, Val Kilmer or Doc Holliday, you can see him with a shoulder handgun rig. You don't normally see him until more towards the end of the movie with the holster on his hip in the shootout with Johnny Ringo. But I do like the holster on the hip, and thus I do like the Redmon Toys version better because I put more customization into that figure than I did the present Toys figure. Although I do like the present Toys figure in that it has a shorter jacket. It's very well tailored. You'll see that when we get to the shoulder part, but the jacket on the Redmon Toys is much longer. It's more like a coat than a jacket. So you can see the vests are different. You've got light purple on present Toys and a red Western scarf and a high collar white shirt on that figure, whereas on the Redmon Toys, you've got a red vest, a gray Western tie, and a shirt with lapels. So it's quite different. The short jacket on the present Toys, you can see how tailored it is when you look at the shoulders. I mean, this is really form-fitting, really form-fitting. The head sculpt, I think, is from the same mold. There may be some differences that you might see with the hat, but I think that's probably due to temperature changes over the course of time. And maybe the folds just kind of went in different directions on the hats because it's made out of plastic. So maybe a little heat sensitivity there. But I like them both. My preference is the Redmon Toys figure because of the red jacket. I'm sorry, the red vest and the customization that I did on it. But they're both very nice, so I decided to keep both of them. So we'll pause now and see each one of them individually, side to side from the hands on up, and also the head sculpt, which shouldn't change too much from one figure to the other. I have to admit, I like this one better than the present Toys, but I still like the present Toys for different reasons. That very well tailored jacket. But I love the red vest. I love the shoulder rig here. And I do like the added holster rig on the hip that I put on this guy. I do like the longer jacket. So we'll just kind of go side to side so you can see him a bit better. And then we'll pause and get some tighter close-ups of his face. We'll be right back. Val Kilmer really played this role nicely. That Southern accent was just so nicely done. He definitely had a look. So we'll pause now and take a look at the present Toys figure. So this is really cool because this is as form-fitting as a jacket can get. It is. There's no additional space in here, and it's fully lined. Yeah, just amazing that they can do this kind of detail with clothing on 1/6 scale. But the shoulder rig is very nice, obviously. Even the vest is very form fitting and so forth. That high collar is just many reasons to like both figures, really. So we'll just go side to side here so you can see this one. I don't think we really need to get a close up of the face because it's the same head sculpt from my perspective. But yeah, he looks awesome. What can I say? We'll be right back. I forgot to mention he had a very diversified dating history throughout his life. He dated Cher, Carly Simon, Ellen Barkin, married a film actress by the name of Joanne Whalley. They had 2 children, a daughter and a son. Dated Cindy Crawford, Angelina Jolie, Daryl Hannah. Yeah, just a lot of individuals. Cher's quite a character. You should look up some of the things that happened between them. Very interesting. But I think what I'll do with the other figures, I very much love Tombstone. So I have Russel, Kurt Russell, who portrayed Wyatt Earp. I have Sam Elliott, who portrayed Virgil Earp. Bill Paxton, who portrayed Morgan Earp. Of course, Val Kilmer, who portrayed Doc Holliday. And Michael Biehn, who portrayed Johnny Ringo. So as I move on and on with these characters, I'll start slipping in there some tidbits about the movie itself, Tombstone. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.